Foro Italico in Rome, Andre Agassi and Albert Costa. First point about to get underway, best of 3 sets. Here is the draw for the tournament. Moya and Haas are a good one. They'll play tonight. Then you've got Roddick Robredo. That'll be a rematch of their effort in Houston, Texas, where they played on grass. Novak threw over Blake. That just happened. And it's Agassi and Costa that you're about to watch. Here is Costa to serve to Agassi.
No, 15.
See, Andre Agassi, 32 years old, 5'11", but has really built his game in the last couple of years on speed. Remember back in like 1990, he really came onto the scene in the late 80s, early 90s, wanted to bulk up. Well, that slowed him down. I think he's really found the right winning combination.
Yeah, when I first saw him as a teenager, I used to think, like, boy, that spindly legs on Agassi are just not going to make it for him. But he bulked up, as you said. Costa's 27, Larida, Spain. He follows soccer closely, as do most Spaniards. Mid-20s for Costa. I was saying, well, he's a veteran. He's been around so long. But mid-20s don't really constitute a veteran yet.
30-15. 36.
See the head-to-heads, obviously. Agassi, if you check out on clay, Costa took him out in Monte Carlo, but Agassi's never done well early in the clay court season. Monte Carlo and Rome has been kind of his Achilles heel. He doesn't have a trophy from either one, whereas you look at the Indian Wells, the Key Biscaynes on hard courts. It's hard to find tournaments Agassi hasn't won. But Costa, the strategy in this match is going to be Agassi's ability to pinpoint a lot of his shots to the Costa backhand, push him over to that corner, open up the forehand side so Agassi can hit his backhand down the line, to hit his forehand short cross court, to spread open the court and make Costa move.
30-all first game.
Good volley from Agassi. Normally he likes to hit a drop volley off of that. And you see Costa doing his scouting, looking at a scouting report, starting to charge that net, but gets crossed up when Agassi pushes it deep into the court, forcing the passing shot air. So it's going to be already in the first game a battle of who's going to control the tempo, the rhythm of this game. Agassi likes to play fast. Costa playing slow. Watch how much time Costa takes. Getting 3 balls, 1 from each ball kid. Looking for the fastest one out of the 3. That's the one without the fuzz, the Don King haircut.
Break point. Andre Agassi breaks in the first game of the match. Andre Agassi is one of the more thoughtful players, and here are his thoughts on playing A.Costa.
Well, he's good, but it's 2 different players. Well, they're both good clay courters, Caleri and Costa. Caleri steps up and really hits the ball a lot harder, but Costa plays with with a lot of spin and moves really well. And you know, I'm just going to have its own problems. So I got to be on my game. I have to be doing everything well, and you can't make many mistakes. You have to be patient, and you have to not make many mistakes. You have to play a good match start to finish to win out there.
Talk a little bit about A.Costa and how successful he's been on clay. He's been in 3 finals, 1 win at the Tennis Masters Series, all of those on clay in the last 6 years. He has not been in a final here in the last 3 years, though. He won Hamburg and runner-up in Rome, both in '98.
Look, it is so hard to be a grinder on the ATP Tour. You look at Courier, Shang, Sergei Bruguera, all great players, but they have to play such long matches time and time again. They can't just use a big serve and get out of it. They can't just get a big weapon and get out of points. They grind every time they step on the court. Just puts miles on the car, and eventually you're going to have injuries. Eventually you're going to burn out.
59.
Agassi losing the racket handle on that one.
15-30.
Missing the overhead. As you can see, he has that overgrip, that turner grip to help him grip the racket. Now what happens is, even though it's early in the match, he's practiced, he's worked up a sweat. So sometimes that stick's going to fly out of your hand.
Actually, that grip has got his own name on it. Yep. Just happened to know that because I ordered some 3 days ago. The part of the headline of products, the racket that he uses, so the Agassi Pro Grip that he puts on that racket. And I don't know what players did before then, because
well, you played
so wet. Well, I played with the glove, yeah.
You had the glove going. You had guys with the leather going.
That is long, and Agassi's got a game point.
That's tough to handle, that topspin lob, when the approach shot has so much pace on it. See Agassi directing traffic. He likes to put the ball boys and ball girls right where he wants them.
Yeah, he likes order. He really does. 2 to Agassi, first set. Betty Barclay Cup still up for grabs at the 2002 German Open, part of the WTA Tour. Tonight at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2, quarterfinal action. It's going to be Jennifer Capriati and Sandrine Testude. Yesterday we were suggesting Serena Williams and Amelie Mauresmo, but Mauresmo pulled out because of an un-tennis-related injury or health problem. That's from the Rot-Weiss Club in Berlin. WTA on ESPN2 tonight, 7:30 p.m. So Serena Williams gets a walkover.
See a beautiful volley from Costa, pushing Agassi deep into the court. See again, making his opponent run. And then the blocked volley, see, just lays it out there, good angle, the racket head.
I don't know about the grinder thing, Luke, but I always felt that A.Costa didn't really live up to what I anyway expected of him, because he's strong, he's fit, he's quick. Great clay court game. I just think there's so many other Spanish players and South American players and good clay court players that I guess at a certain time they just put up with him.
And when you watch his game, he has a very good possession game, but you look at his forehand, it has almost too much topspin at times. His backhand, he pulls off of it, so there's not a lot of pace, not a lot of weight behind his shots. So I think he gets in trouble that way. When he wants to end a point, He's out there too long getting deep into the rallies. I mean, just look at Agassi's ball compared to his ball. Agassi's ball has zip. You know, you've got like this fluff and fold from Costa. Here, the roller short, and then pop.
What was it? The fluff and...
The fluff and fold. You know, you're out there and you're just throwing it out there. You turn in your laundry at the laundromat and they fluff and fold it. There's no, you know, you need some starch into that collar.
I tell you what, he's going to need to get some starch pretty quickly. So he's down 15-40. He's already down a break.
And that's what Agassi does against clay court players, against Guga, against other guys that play deep in the backcourt. He challenges them. He stays on that baseline, and he tries to knock them out. Just like a prize fighter, he takes the fight straight to these guys and doesn't let them breathe. He plays quick because he's fitter than the other guy. And look at that intensity on his face.
But this is not, Luke, is it, his favorite surface, Agassi's?
I would say slow hard court would be his best. Medium slow, and look at Indian Wells and Key Biscayne, especially Key Biscayne. Do you see that? He pushed him in the corner, opened up the down the line, and executes.
It has been a lesson so far. Albert Costa is the student. 3-love, Agassi. The young 20-year-old Swiss lost here in the first round to Andrea Gardenzi, the Italian, and then Blake took out Gardenzi. Here's Agassi, though, to serve at 3 games. He's got 2 breaks. Listen to this, Luke. Here's Agassi on his own game. One of my strengths is that I can play with a variety of shots. Play it flat and try to go through somebody. I can play both wings, up the line and cross court. I can play short angles, both wings. Play high above your shoulder. That's wide, or I can keep it low. I mean, this is why my game requires a lot of thinking, because when you've got those kind of options, you can think yourself into paralysis. Love 30.
And that's the big difference with Andre Agassi and a lot of baseliners. That A game, that B game, and being able to punch these different strategies in at different points in matches against different types of opponents.
Well, in the early Agassi days, we always used to say, this guy's only got one game, one speed, one swing, one strategy. That's changed. Yeah.
See, look at the real estate. He's not playing high risk. It's high percentage tennis from Agassi. And when you look at Roddick, and we showed him yesterday, Roddick will learn that. And if you follow Major League Baseball, Randy Johnson, Mr. Cy Young from the Arizona Diamondbacks, when he played for Montreal early in his career, he was just a thrower. But then as he's grown in on the major leagues, he became a pitcher, where he had that in his game. He could still throw the heat, but then he had all these other pitches, and he saved it. And that's where Agassi made his mark. Instead of being just a hitter, he said, boy, this is pretty cool. I can do this. I can do that. I'm going to try this. See, I mean, and one thing Agassi loves to do to opponents, and why we call him the Punisher, is because he will take a guy like A.Costa, who loves to run. Well, if you like to run, I'm going to put you in the New York City Marathon. I'm going to go short cross court, spread that court out. You're going to be going side to side. I'm going to go back door where you got to put on the brakes and come back and try to get the ball. Look at Costa early in this match, who is very fit, already looking out of breath. Check out where he is. He's trying to return that serve outside the doubles alley, Cliff, and that's just too hard. The bagel is on.
Cannot tell the Agassi story without mentioning his level of fitness. Gil Reyes was the weight trainer for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas basketball team. He's been with Agassi now for a long time, and he has got him in outstanding. He's 32 years old, Agassi. He's the oldest player in this field. But he lifts weights, does footwork drills, medicine ball sessions.
Again, no fluff and fold on that backhand. Driving through the ball, looking for a ball that he can hit. Pushing Agassi into Agassi's backhand corner. There's Agassi stuck in that backhand corner, opening down the line. See Agassi way over there. But you got to execute that over the high part of the net. It's a tough thing to do.
Thirty love. I guess you have to tell also the part of the Agassi story that he's married to Steffi Graf. They have a young son whom they are very proud of, Jaden Gill, named after Gil Reyes. That's how much he thinks of his trainer.
I think a lot of juniors can look at Andre Agassi's career and say, you know, where did he make that last turn? And if you look at the way he focused in on his footwork, his fitness, that was the difference. You know, staying away from the fast foods, watching his diet. And he knows if he moves well, he plays well. And that's with every tennis player.
Yeah. 40-15, 40-15 game point for Costa to get on the board here. He hasn't won a game yet.
What people can't really understand from watching on TV or even showing up live is how physical this game is. I mean, yes, they're hitting the ball hard, but look at how far they have to sprint. You know, they're going up to the corner, back, sideways. Stopping and starting, just, it's an amazing athlete to be able to do this.
Costa of Spain is on the board. 2 breaks his serve for Agassi. He'll serve and we come back to run. James Blake. Agassi to serve, up for 1.
You
see that the big thing there is Agassi's 2 for 2 on breakpoint opportunities, and Costa hasn't had a sniff. If you listen to Agassi, he wants to be consistent. He wants to hit his spots. I mean, just look at the distance that Costa has to cover. On the bottom right of your screen, you see 2 huge slide marks from Costa just to kind of squash shot the ball back in play. Here's towards the end. Here's his second big slide. He's not even in your view. He's out of the point. Nice overhead from Agassi, moving to the side. But again, when you look at Andre Agassi, when his backhand down the line is clicking, it is so hard to cover that much real estate and play against it.
You know, there's a determination and a serenity about Agassi these days that you'd be hard-pressed to believe that in the years and when most tennis players are busy getting their best results, he was frequently an emotional no-show and really an underachiever. That's why he had this roller coaster ride of a career. And I tell you, it's really, really nice to see. And if maybe he wouldn't have lasted as long if he'd been concentrating from year one, but sure is good to see him now. 30 all.
He's always so temperamental throughout his career, like an artist. You know, when he's playing well, it is a beautiful thing to watch. The intensity, of course, the ball placement, all the shot-making ability. But then when he's not feeling right and he's going south for the winner, man, it can be ugly. See that backhand down the line, just clicking. Here's the nice serve. Watch, Costa outside the doubles alley, opening up this shot. And Costa, who has very good wheels, can't even come close to that.
Agassi now with killer Darren Cahill of Australia. That's a new coach. And so sometimes gives you a new lease on tennis life. You get a different perspective on your tennis game and your opponents.
Boy, was that a shock when the Agassi-Gilbert team kind of decided to split up. And there's Darren Killer Cahill from Australia. How do you like that? You're coaching the #1 player in the world, Leighton Hewitt, and then you say, you know what, Andre Agassi, we're going to switch up. And then you're playing in the finals of San Jose. And the guy you coached last year is playing your current guy in the final. Now Costa can't handle that backhand volley. It was a good technique, but watch this. The power from Agassi, the racket head speed on that passing shot does the damage. Instead of dipping it, he says, you know what, I'm out of position. I'm just going to try to spice it. And Costa can't handle it. The biggest thing to do when the ball's coming firm like that, as you're volleying the ball, lock your wrist, brace yourself, and then redirect the shot. There's that stinging forehand. We just don't see enough of that from Costa. This time, early in the count, getting a ball he likes in the midcourt, no man's land, and he drills it. So many times you see Costa on both wings just roll it back. Love Agassi's return, the way he sets up for it. Leaning forward on the balls of his feet.
30-15.
Ready to go to the left, ready to go to the right.
Agassi's story for this year starts with a wrist injury before the Australian swing, so he did not play the Australian Open. Then parting with Brad Gilbert and taking up with coach Darren Cahill. First 2 tournaments here, he reached the San Jose final. You just mentioned that. Lost to Hewitt. Great match, though. Then won his 50th career title in Scottsdale. He lost the first round Pacific Life Open out Indian Wells, but came back to win the NASDAQ 100 Open against Federer in the final. He went to the Red Clay Championships in Houston, which was jammed every single day. Great atmosphere there, he said, from the beginning. But he lost to Sampras in a surprise, really, in the semifinals there, before Roddick beat Sampras in that final at the Westside Tennis Club. set point, and he stays in the set.
Well, moving away from the ball. Talking about a low percentage shot off of well-struck ball from Agassi. Agassi drills it. He's deep in the court. This opens up the short game. Pulls out the sand wedge. It's a beautiful drop shot. I would not recommend this. That's a very tough shot to hit. Inside out, with a little underspin, side spin.
A.Costa.
Clean it down the line, and Costa holds on, but it's Agassi to serve. He's got 2 breaks for the first set when we come back. Agassi going down in that one, but he's on the brink of winning this first set against Albert Costa, a clay court specialist, on his favorite surface at the Faro Italico in Rome. Men's singles quarterfinal match. Cliff Drysdale here, Luke Jensen alongside. Agassi picking out a new racket. New balls is my guess after 7 games, and Agassi is serving for the first set. He has not had any trouble on his own serve. He was down love 30 in one serve game, but no break points against his serve yet.
That's it.
There's that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's been a satisfactory year, I think, 2002 for Costa. Final in Barcelona, he lost to Gaston Gaudia, got to the quarterfinals in Monte Carlo. 4th round at the Australian. Wayne Ferreira beat him there. Sorry, Luke. I don't want to make it sound like he's just a clay court player, because he's not. He's had some hard court success, as I said, including this year in Australia.
Well, if you're as consistent as Costa is, if you're as strong and gutsy as Costa is, you're going to be in every match on every surface. You may be out hit on certain surfaces, or in this case, against a better player like Andre Agassi. But against the majority of the tour, you're going to be hanging in there every time.
That's it.
See Costa knocking the clay out of his shoes for more traction. Oh, beautiful. The guy who invented that shot knocks off the first set.
6-2. Agassi wins the first set, 2, and we come back to center court in Rome.
Got the Red Wings going through, and the Hurricanes, baby.
The Hurricanes.
You're Hurricane. Your Hurricanes, of course.
Big comeback last night.
Big comeback, but then again, your Charlotte Hornets also coming back in the NBA playoffs, or should I say the New Orleans Hornets. Can't believe you didn't support that team. Cliff A.
Grazie.
Nice serve from Costa, kick serve, but with a lot of steam behind it. Agassi couldn't catch up with it, caught it above his shoulders, and hits it long.
Agassi said yesterday that it would mean a lot to him to win here. Huge accomplishment, especially after having match point here 13 years ago. I'd forgotten about that. That was against Alberto Mancini here on the same Foro Italico court. Match point he had, and he still remembers what happened in that point.
Frustration from Albert. Big Al down 6-2 the first set, but struggling once again on his own serve.
Got out to a bad start in the first set and didn't even really come close to recovering, and now he knows that gets out to a bad start here in the second set, and we could see the same scenario. And trying to avoid that if possible. So I guess he has something to say about all this. That's why. Game point for the Spaniard. Luke, if I gave you a bet for the French Championships this year that it would be won by a Spaniard versus the field. A Spaniard versus the field. Who would you take?
One Spaniard?
No, any Spaniard.
Oh. I would take the field. I don't think, well, Ferrero's didn't really show me anything at this tournament. I mean, lost, was upset, playing on court
you've got
6.
This guy, you've got Moya, you've got Ferrero.
Well, why don't you say Barcelona versus the world, okay? The city of Barcelona attacks on dirt. I mean, it's a pretty good bet.
I thought you'd go with the Spanish.
Yeah, I just after Monte Carlo, I would have probably went with Spain or Barcelona with Ferrero winning there. But, geez, every one of these tournaments is so crucial. I mean, you're talking, you know, Roddick, Leighton Hewitt, Roger Federer. I mean, I've got a lot of guns if I take the rest of the world.
I've got Martin. I've got Ferrero. Why are you shaking your head? Two weeks ago, it was Ferrero was going to win the French, without a doubt, just because he wins Monte Carlo.
Yeah, but I mean, Monte Carlo is basically just like the French Open. This is similar. Clay's a little different, a little faster. Hamburg isn't even close because basically going into a snowstorm, you'd have no idea kind of weather that Hamburg's going to be like.
Deuce, first game, second
Let's see
set.
Barcels, too. We'll throw Barcels in there. Smasher and Crasher.
Barcels is not going to win the French, but A.Costa is certainly he's not a favorite.
Yeah, he's not, but you're taking Spain.
How about Mr. Correcha, by the way? I've mentioned him.
Well, you can outlaw all you want. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Whatever, I'm just throwing it out.
Oh, great combination.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. I'm ripping on the guy, and then he comes up with a world-class kick serve. Check this out. Agassi is next to the base lines judge and then opens up that drop shot. Look at even the quick Agassi. Hustling. Ooh, can't get a handle on that ball. Boy, that's a work of art.
Slip sliding away.
Yeah.
Now game point to the Spaniard.
There really is an art to sliding on the surface. And people say, no, that's ridiculous. You know, even though you start on hard courts, you can get used to play. I think if you grow up on this surface, you have a sense of balance. You have a sense of timing sliding into a ball. And how to play shots.
How about Robredo, by the way?
Okay, he's your guy, okay.
We didn't even mention him. It's 1 to Costa in the second. Agassi winning the first behind 2 breaks of serve, 6 games to 2. Take a look at your first set stats there, Luke.
No, it's all Agassi. Even though the first serve percentage is down for a typical Agassi match, only 68%. But look at winners compared to unforced errors. Costa with that fluff and fold ground strokes, only 5 winners to 13 unforced errors, where Agassi's about even. And when you're looking at Agassi keeping the winners up compared to his unforced errors, or at least around even, he's so tough to play against. Just watch these baseline rallies, Cliff. Agassi is hugging that baseline, not giving Costa any time to get back into the court. Costa's 5, 6, 7 feet behind the baseline, retrieving. It's so hard to catch up to Agassi that way. And even if Costa wanted to be offensive, he has to do it from so deep in the baseline. Look at Big Al right in front of you.
Easy overhead.
It's the second bad overhead Agassi has missed in this match. One earlier where he lost the grip of the racket. Here he gets up to it. Above the net, drives it. Here, doesn't get his racket up in time. As soon as you know you're hitting an overhead, get the racket up early. He was a little late preparing for that overhead, pulls down and shanks it.
Yeah, he pulled down too soon. He didn't keep that left arm up long enough. Quindi ci pare 15 all instead of love 30 on that return. First strike attempt there by Costa. That's not a bad play. What do you do if you're Costa against Agassi? You either play your game, Luke, which is defense, go right behind the baseline and not bother with trying first strike tennis like he did on that point two points ago, or do you try to match Agassi's style of play, which is much more aggressive?
I don't think you can match it, but you can kind of adapt some of it. See where he's at right now? That's what I would adapt. Stay closer to that baseline. Now he's stuck.
How far back he was there.
I mean, you just can't do it. Look, now the legs are going, and the Punisher is starting to take its toll on the Spaniard Costa. The Punisher moving his opponent side to side. If you're Costa, just adapt a couple of the rules Agassi does. Step up a little bit closer, take the ball earlier, go down the line a little bit more earlier in the rally count to keep the rally shorter, open up some opportunities.
Agassi,
I'm saying, go ahead.
He took out Caleri, but it was a tough match.
Leclerc's a little bit more offensive, hits the ball a little flatter.
After that match, he said, I don't think you ever need a match to be that close, but I think that if there are any questions left for me this week, then they're going to be answered today. And so far, he's answered them pretty emphatically. He's in control of this match at this point. First set easily.
He's got to take care of business right here. Just keep that roll. Keep your opponent down.
Oh man, run around the backhand side, and he's so confident on the Punisher forehand.
And in basketball, you practice your spot-up jump shot. For Agassi, he practices his run-around forehand. Runs around the backhand, balances, sets, fires. What do you think's better, Steffi Graf or Andre Agassi in that household on that run-around backhand, run-around forehand?
I like Agassi.
She could hit it.
The guy, Agassi.
Uh-oh.
She could hit it, yeah.
She can hit a forehand. This time Albert tries to do the same thing, but Big Al doesn't get there in time. And that's a tough shot to hit because it's a little bit higher than the Agassi forehand. The ball's a little looper, no pace, so he has to generate all his pace on his own.
Costa has struggled on his serve. It's low 15 on this game. Lost 2 serves in the first set. Got out of his first serve game here in the second, so we're even at 1-1.
Nice serve, pinning Agassi out there, and what Andre will do, and he's very good at this. He loves the X's and O's of a tennis match, and he's going to see in his player profile with Albert Costa, and as this match goes on, that Costa's hitting that kick serve out wide. He's going to take a step over to cover that and give that down the middle serve to Costa if he can hit it.
Perfect.
See, giving him that down the middle serve. Costa's standing out wide, like halfway between singles and doubles to get that angle with the kick.
But it hits the tape and it just stands up and begs to be hit for a winner by Agassi. He obliges, and now Agassi's got break points here.
Agassi over the last couple of years loves this type of point. That's why he trains. That's why he goes up. That puke hill over in Vegas with his trainer just to work on points just like this. The fitness, the training, the strength, the speed, balance, everything combines to win these types of points. He's got that hill out in Vegas there. He sprints up to the point where he's hurling at the end of every workout. The champion at 32 years old, still willing to pay the physical price off the court to train to be at this level.
Still break point as Costa saves one. Saves another one. It's deuce. I mentioned Robredo earlier when I'm trying to get you to bite and make you understand that a Spaniard is going to win the French this year, Luke. He, by the way, is still in this tournament. Will take on Andy Roddick later today here in Rome. Roddick with a win yesterday. Hope you saw that one over Wayne Ferreira. Good comeback.
You're still giving me Guga too, the defending champion.
Yeah, I've got to give you Guga. He's not Spanish.
I understand, but I've got a lot of aces.
Okay.
A lot of aces. You have a bunch of mud rollers.
Excuse me, but the French Championship likes mud rollers.
I understand, but it's just not the same.
Okay, we'll find out.
I'll give you Ferreira. He's awesome. Moya, awesome. Courageous. This time he takes the ball early. He missed this one a few points ago. But this time he's able to take it early and time it just right. This is a tough shot to hit. You say, oh, it's high. It's going to be an easy sitter. Then he drills it as you hear the mobile phones going off. You're not in Europe unless you hear a mobile phone during a match.
Costa holds on, and it's 2-1. We're on serve. He has struggled here in the second set on his serve, but no breaks yet. Agassi will serve, and we come back to Rome. That's what we got. Good serving numbers for Andre Agassi as he serves game 2 for him in the second set. He won the first set behind 2 breaks and has not really been challenged on his serve. No break points against him.
Queen 15.
How the game has evolved to the Western forehand where you put a lot of top on the ball. One thing you can do to expose that forehand is that low ball. As you see, Costa could not handle that off-pace low. Oh, that's a beautiful ripper. And there's the advantage of the big Western forehand. Getting over there, ripping the topspin, short cross-court dipper. Couldn't do that with the old Connie grip, the old Continental. As you can see, look at him. Closed face, keeps his shoulders sideways and whips around the ball.
30-15. Agassi says you need to have a different mentality on clay. Not get too excited because things can change quickly.
40-15.
It is so hard to put guys away on dirt. You know, you're hanging in, and you're constantly given a chance to play because the guy can't blow you off the court with a huge serve or a huge game.
Agassi holds on, so still has not really faced any serious trouble. As I mentioned earlier, he was down love 30 in one serve game, but came right back to win 4 in a row. No break points against his serve. It's 2 games all.
Costa taking his time. Again, a battle of tempo. Who's controlling it? At this point, it doesn't matter what Costa's doing. Agassi's all over him.
A.Costa's serve profile not nearly as juicy as Agassi's, as second serve points way below 50%.
And he's just kicking it in. I mean, he's got, you know, one ace for the match, and that was in this set. So he's not very offensive, just trying to set up his ground stroke game or his second ball by kicking out the serve, especially in the ad court to Agassi's backhand. Stands up far wide. Here it is.
Brilliant play. The return wide and very deep, and he saw him out of court, and then he comes up with
a Picasso. Agassi doing what Albert Costa did to him a few games ago. Agassi rolling that ball deep, not trying to do anything special with it, but look for depth.
There may have been a game when Costa wasn't on trouble on serve, but I can't remember it.
There hasn't been a game where he hasn't been running. I mean, he's just running all the time.
We'll be covering the Slam French Championships this year, Luke. Toughest Grand Slam to win is which one?
French, no doubt. Because you can't just do it with one shot. Goran Ivanisevic wins the Wimbledon Championships last year
with one shot.
With one shot, the serve. I mean, you can't do that on clay. You have to go 2 weeks of just grinding tennis. Wow, that's awesome.
Genius. As Agassi gets the first break of the second set, he won the first set easily. Andre Agassi's got the break here in the second. It's just been a powerful display from him. I mean, he is playing focused tennis. He's playing aggressive tennis. He's going for the first strike, which he does so well. He just seems very controlled. Very controlled. 3-2 with a break. Second set, he won the first. And there's sometimes when Agassi plays, you feel like a player can get to him. And for me, there is none of that here today. Started out strong, won the first 4 games, and again, we should mention to you that this court, they're saying, a quote from yesterday, the players were saying, this is like a hard court with a little clay on top of it, so that suits Agassi. And it suits Roddick, and it suits Blake. Blake having 3 very, very good wins here before going out today, after having had match points to Yuri Novak from the Czech Republic. Novak, by the way, plays the winner of this match for a place in the final. Agassi holds on, and he's got a 4-2 lead now in the second. Carlos Moya, very good results here. He took out Leighton Hewitt. He beat Thomas Enquist, who in the meantime in the first round had beaten Magnus Norman. So Moya is back on the list of potential candidates for the French Championships. He has already won it once. In fact, that's his only slam.
0-15. The 15.
Spanish is not good enough to be able to translate that.
Yeah. Is he taking his time? And he's fighting. I mean, he's doing everything he can to hang in there, but he's just outgunned. He's just struggling with catching up to Agassi's ball. I mean, Agassi grew up hitting the targets, and if you look at the way he hits the ball, it's like you put a can out there, and he's just hitting the sideline, hitting the baseline. Check this out. Costa constantly struggling, stabbing at balls, just off balance, going one way, having to put on the brakes and come back and try to get a shot.
He's struggling today, is Costa. You know, he's got the face of a football player, A.Costa. He says he likes football. He's not very good at it. Table tennis he likes, and golf. I can just see him taking off a helmet, you know, having won a Grand Prix. Could be a race car driver.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Formula One.
Certainly a soccer player.
I mean, when he says he's not that good, does that mean, like, you know?
Right, he's just below Pele. Or
yeah, exactly. Not that good on dirt, you know. You got these other guys in my country, in my city. That's the forehand I'm looking for, controlling the middle of the court. We've been seeing it from the American Agassi all day. This time, nice kick serve, possession serve, gets the ball in the middle of the court, no man's land, and pops it for the winner.
It's 5-2 for Agassi. As he breaks again, he will serve for the match against A.Costa and a place in the quarters. Agassi serving for the match. 15 love. He has had very little resistance and really none on his own serve in this match. No break points against him. This is, by the way, is for a place in the semifinals, and he will take on Yivi Novak if he wins the next few points. Novak semifinals this year at the Australian Open and Auckland and Dubai.
I think when Agassi finishes this match, looks at the stats, he's going to be very happy with the way he executed his game today. A combination of patience, power, placement, hustle, everything in order. Just dialing in.
Match points for Agassi. The inevitable moment has arrived. Well, I don't know what you can say about that. Luke, workman-like effort. I'm not sure that Agassi is a workman-like kind of a guy, because as you said earlier that he's an artist, but he certainly was not presented with much opposition today.
Well, he never gave Costa a chance to play. Spread the court out, was pounding his opponent. And I'm telling you, if he's going to win this tournament, I don't know who can stop him even coming close to the A train right now.
Well, Yuri Novak of the Czech Republic will try in the next round, because that's who Agassi will play in the semi-finals. We'll be back with more of our coverage of this Tennis Masters Series event, Rome, when we come back.